Hello there, welcome back to Jennie Designs with Paper. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I'm working in my art journal, so get comfy and let's get crafty. I am working from the mid-month mini mission for the Mission Inspiration Facebook group for September 2022. The randomly selected letter is R with reverse romance red robot and recycle as inspiration words. So let's go see what I came up with. I decided to recycle by taking some of my scrap pieces of cardstock and some old punches that I rarely use anymore, and I am going to do a little bit of good old-fashioned punch art and create some robots to go onto my art journal page. So I have this square punch. It is a 1 1/4 inch punch, and this is going to be the body of my robot. I'm actually going to create 2 robots because we have to have a little bit of romance going on, right? And I went back and forth between whether or not I wanted them to be the same color of gray and decided that yes, I did. I have a 3/4 inch circle punch. I'm going to punch 2 circles of the same gray, and these I will use later. I also have a 1 inch circle punch, and I am going to punch out 2 larger circles. These are going to be the heads. I need to create their arms and legs. So for one robot, I am going to take this blue scrap, and I'm just using my Fiskars trimmer to cut this down into 1/4 inch pieces of cardstock. I just need a few. I needed 2 arms and 2 legs, and I didn't know exactly, and a neck, so like 5-ish. And I'm doing the same thing with this red cardstock. You can see that they are not the same length. They don't need to be the same length. In fact, I'm going to be cutting them down. They're kind of sticking to my trimmer, so it's kind of a pain to get them out of the way. But once I have some pieces for my arms, legs, and neck, I also pulled out this little heart punch and punched out 2 little red hearts. Then I need to come up with a way to create their hands. So I have taken, it's like a 1/4 inch-ish circle punch and then a 1/2 inch circle punch. Actually, I think I used the 1/4 and the 3/4 inch circle punches and created some kind of donut shapes by punching the smaller circle first and then punching the larger circle around it. And I will use these to make the hands. Okay, so now that our circles, or our shapes rather, are all punched out and trimmed out and cut out, we are going to start assembling. So I have taken one of my red strips of cardstock and added some liquid glue to the bottom of the circle, and then I'm adding the square on there, and now I have a head and a body. Then I'm going to go through and add the arms and I'm kind of make them bent like at the elbow. So for this art journal page, I kind of wanted to use as many of the words as I can, or as I could rather, and this month it works out that way. That smaller 3/4 inch circle I have cut into half, and I'm using to make the feet to this robot. I haven't done punch art in a hot minute, and I don't hardly ever use my punches anymore now that I have a die cut machine. Yeah. So I took this little donut shape and cut a little piece out of it, and that created the hands. Just make it kind of a C shape. Perfect, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I'm going to put one of those hearts in the middle. And then for this little robot, I'm going to use one of those red scraps to create a little hair bow even. And that was just like off the cuff there. I didn't even plan that. One of the other ways I will be recycling in this art journal page is I'm using some of my little, I can't even think of the word, embellishments, there we go, that I haven't used in a long time. Now I'm looking at this robot and thinking he needs to be taller, so he needs a longer neck, and that is not exactly how that works, right? Don't worry, I will fix that. It looks a little bit like I am creating a giraffe robot right now, and his legs look a little stumpy and short, especially compared to the legs on the other robot. I did the same thing for the feet, cut that smaller circle in half. And as I'm flipping it over to add the arms onto the robot here, I'm really noticing how long this neck is. And that's rather atrocious, actually. So once I get the arms put back on there and the hands glued down, I will go ahead and adjust the length of the feet, or the legs rather, and the length of the neck, because it's looking a little weird to me, which I suppose doesn't matter because it's a robot, but it looked disproportionate, I guess is the proper word. Okay, and I'm still not loving the length of the neck there, so pull that off, trim it down, put the head back on, and voila. Okay, so now that I have my robots put together, oh, my blue-armed robot, or the male robot, needs a little heart on his chest too. So for my background, I pulled out my old, this is my Goodwill dictionary, and I'm looking for the R's, and I'm going to pull out the page that has the word romance on it. See, I'm getting another R in there, and I'm just going to use my little finger knife here to cut that page out, because if I try and tear it, it will tear crooked. I want to add some pastel. So I have these water-soluble oil pastels, and I want to use them to make this dictionary page red, but I need it to be non-porous a little bit. So I added some clear gesso and dried that back, and I pulled out my red oil pastel, and I'm going to draw a heart around the definition of the word romance, and then I'm going to color the rest of this page, and I am just scribbling on this pastel, and I've sprayed, used my water bottle to add some water to my paintbrush, and I'm just smearing that pigment around. I purchased these they're water-soluble oil pastels. I think I got them either Hobby Lobby or Amazon. I bought them a couple of years ago when I was helping out with a summer camp for our church's young women, the teenage girls. And the girls used them in their project, but I hadn't ever actually sat down and played with them. And I really do like how the pigment just kind of melts and manipulates easily. They were super easy to use. I don't know why I haven't used these before. I don't know how permanent they are. So once I get this all spread out and that pigment all activated, I'm going to go ahead and clean up my desktop and then dry this back with my heat gun. Then I'm going to add another layer of the clear gesso. Now, as I'm adding the clear gesso, it doesn't seem like most of that pigment is moving again. The only place I really saw some smearing was along the edge of that heart that I had drawn, where maybe the pigment wasn't activated all the way. And once I have that clear gesso, that's the word, I'm going to go ahead and heat set that as well. And I have this this gears stencil. So I'm going to pull out some archival ink. This is not water soluble, so I don't have to worry about it moving. And I have a little blender brush here. And I'm just going to go ahead and take that red. I'm not sure what color red it is or what the name of that ink pad is. I already cleaned up my desk and put it away, because that is the goal. I keep losing things on my desk, so I'm trying to put all of the things I use for the project away when I'm finished with the project. And I realize that doesn't work because then I can't remember to tell you what the name of the color was I used. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and add those gears to the background as well, just for a little bit of texture. And I'm going to use this clear gesso as an adhesive to adhere that dictionary page to this piece of mixed media paper. So this is my art journal page. It is about 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And I'm just going to use this old gift card to spread that down, or flatten that down rather. I do need to add a little bit more clear gesso up underneath the corners of the pages and along the edge. I did not know that clear gesso worked as an adhesive until I saw Miriam Small Art is the YouTube channel. I saw it being used as an adhesive, and I was like, what? So it works really well. Now that I've got that all dried back, I'm going to use my Pip pen to kind of outline that heart again. And then I'm taking this mostly dry baby wipe and blending out that Indian ink, because I want it to be less severe. I kind of want the edges of that heart to blend in. And then I'm going to trim the excess paper off of my art journal page. So now we're getting down to the assembly part of the page, right? We're going to put all of the things together. So I have my 2 robots and I want to put them, oh, sorry, first I lied. I need to punch the holes in my page so I know where the holes are to put in my binder. Now I'm going to go through the assembly and I have my 2 robots and I realized, oh goodness, the red robot blends a little bit too much. So what am I going to do here to make her stand out? And I have this old Recollections paper pad. It's a Valentine's theme one. And I'm going to pull this gray, kind of a taupey gray bingo card out. I'm going to trim it down and I'm just going to put that on the bottom of my page there to allow those robots to stand up off the background. I wasn't really thinking very clearly when I thought about making this robot have red arms and legs. I probably should have done something else. I don't know. Doesn't matter. What's done is done and we're going to move on. We found a way to go around it. Okay, so I have my little bingo card, my Valentine's Day bingo card down. I'm going to start adhering my little robots. I'm just going to kind of overlap them a little bit. I want them to look like they're maybe holding hands or that they have their arms wrapped around each other because one of our inspiration words is romance. So, you know, we have a little bit of robot romance going on here, which is super funny because I Googled that thinking maybe I could find an image to use, and it's just weird. Don't Google that. Okay, one of the other things I'm going to recycle, and it's not really recycling, but I'm using what's in my stash, are these googly eyes. Because who doesn't need googly eyes on an art journal page? I am going to use 2 little blue ones for my little boy robot and 2 little pink eyes for my girl robot. And her hair bow's a little bit in the way, so I am going to need to kind of pick that robot off or pick that hair bow off and then readjust it. And I thought for a minute maybe I could put their eyes kind of more to one side of their head, so like they're looking at each other. And then I realized they're googly eyes, so they're not always going to be looking at each other. Okay, so I'm just going to use my tweezers, pull that little hair bow back, glue their eyes on with some Tombow liquid glue. And I've got my little jewel picker here to help me pick these little skinny things up. And I'm just going to add my bow right back on. Can't even tell I had to pull it off. Easy breezy lemon squeezy, right? I'm going to add the eyeballs on my boy robot. And I think it looks so cool. To be fair, I'm a little bit like a kindergartner and I love googly eyes. I think they're hilarious. I am one of those people who would go to Hobby Lobby and buy that big, huge bag of googly eyes and put them on things in my fridge and all over my kitchen. Yeah, I totally would do that. Once I have my googly eyes down, I need to draw some mouths on my robots. I pulled out a glaze pen first, a jelly pen, but it didn't really do what I wanted it to do. I needed like a marker nib, not a ballpoint pen nib. So I reached into my drawer and grabbed a Zig pen. This one had way too thin of a nib, so I reached in and grabbed a little bit bigger one, and it's perfect. I have little lips on the girl, kind of, sort of, and just a smile on the boy, you know. And now I need to put my R. So I've pulled out my chipboard letters and found an R, and I am coloring that with my Faber-Castell Pitt pen and a little bit of the archival ink that was sitting on my desk. The archival ink didn't work as well, especially because it was lighter than the Pitt pen. So I just picked up my Pitt pen again and went around the edges to kind of cover up all that chipboard. And voila, it is all colored in. Now that I think about it, I probably should have done it in red or black or gray or something. But all of the other letters on all of my other art journal pages are brown, so we're just gonna go keep it that way for uniformity's sake, right? I'm gonna stick that gesso pot on there until it's kind of adhered. And now I have this red and pink piece of pattern paper. It is from the same paper stack that I pulled that bingo card from, and I am going to use my Tombow glue to adhere this art journal page down to that pattern paper, just to kind of give it a little bit of a background, a little bit of stability. And I've got the paper, so why not use it? I mean, for real. You've heard me say this before, but my kids are going to be inheriting pattern paper. I just have a lot. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down with my Fiskars trimmer. I just kind of waited there for the glue to kind of grab and hold together. I'm going to go ahead and trim that down with my wire guided trimmer so that I can put that wire guide right on the edge of the page. And then I decided I needed to kind of blend in that edge a little bit. I don't like seeing the white core of the paper, but also taking this archival ink around the edge gives it a little bit of a frame. It's not really an in-your-face kind of frame, but it does tell your eye kind of, hey, look here, this is where the image is. This is where the message is. That's what frames do. That's why we have borders on books and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and punch the holes through the front part of my page so that I can stick it in my binder. And all that is left is to go down my inspiration tag. So I have the R. I have Romance Red, Robot, and Recycle. I didn't quite get reverse on there, unless you count the fact that on the reverse side of this page, I have pattern paper. I don't know. You can be as... you can take that how you want it. I'm going to count it. So I got all the words, right? I got the reverse. I got all the things. Okay. Anyways, now we are done with our art journal page. This was a quick one. I love it when the inspiration words just kind of flow together and create a page. I didn't even have to think about it too much. And I love how it turned out. It's just kind of goofy and silly. And that's kind of what I'm feeling today, is goofy and silly. So I hope you liked my art journal page. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I have added a couple of other videos here I think you would like, as well as a subscribe button. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you did. Leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I hope you have a really fabulous day.